Do you think that half of these issues are in your mind, or do people really show their ass in town? People are acting out because the sun is acting out. And with these solar flares, I was listening to I think a lecture by Beto, and he was saying that whoever is vibrating at a low vibration is going to continue to put out low vibration at a max. And if you are operating at a high vibration, your goal is going to be to keep operating in that high vibrational max. Whatever energy that you were vibrating on before these solar flares, that's the one that you're going to be stuck in. And you have to remember that everybody cannot be saved, and it's not your duty to save anybody in 2025. This is a 9-year. If they're weeding themselves out, let them. Retaliation is something that my ancestors do, not me. You cannot decide how I feel about you. That is unacceptable, and it's rude for you to think so. I want to be independent from what anybody thinks I am like, or their perception of me. I'm allowed to act and feel how I have felt about any type of situation. My dad used to always say that people hang themselves. You just have to sit back and watch. And I really hated that now as an adult, because it's true. You don't understand it, but people really push themselves into their own graves. And from dust you are, from dust you will return. And I've always tried to be intentional about personality, how I treated people, because at the end of the day, we're in a law of cause and effect. There are multiple laws of the universe, and I just want to abide by majority of them. Take it as the 10 commandments in my retrospect, in my world, in my realm, with me and my helmet on. I'm really sitting in silence, right? Sometimes nature does that to you. This guy I dated once said you don't always have to feel every minute of the air. You can relax, it's okay. But I'm like, he never interacted with me, so I was trying to ask him questions just to interact with me, and it was exhausting, where I ended up exhausting myself, depleting myself, losing my identity, quickly becoming his, because you think that's what you want, when in reality you just want to free yourself from anyone's perception of you. I just want to show up as I am. I'm tired of seeing race first. All the while, I'm still going to choose my race first. It is what it is. There were times where I only worked with black businesses first, and maybe you can say I got the short end of the stick, because someone once told me that money was green. And I'm like, we're clearly not here for the same purpose. Because when you don't chase money, money comes naturally. You don't really do too much for it. You speak it into being. What realm am I surviving in? How will I be able to recognize what's really happening while it's happening? Just be thankful for certain scenarios and people teaching you how to Dougie. Be thankful for, the opportunity to allow life to unfold naturally, just through Mother Earth, delivering these earth storms and earthquakes, and us seriously being potentially hit with an earthquake so powerful that the planes are flying lower than they ever have been. So that means that if the airspace on the top is too hot and the ground space on the floor is also too hot, what do you think happens when that energy collides? Earth lost its shield for what seems to be 2 seconds. And while it may look like 2 seconds on the screen, who knows how quick those minutes and how long that energy takes to get to planet Earth. But the fact is that there's an energy that's going to be hitting the planet in the next few days. And if you're not privy to that energy, or you can't tolerate that energy, you will potentially die. Earth is getting almost completely too expensive to inhabit, and everyone cannot say that they are suffering and stuck in a place or a space where you just start telling people their blessings before they happen. I sent a message to somebody saying, you don't even realize how much your career is about to 10x right now. And that person is already 10x. Like, they already got the juice. Like, the things that are going to start playing out in the public, because people, once again, shout out to Big C, hang themselves. You know, it's unfortunate to see, to witness, to understand that this is the path that people have chosen, you know, just without getting into much detail about the public trial that's happening to an ego. That's public judgment. And when you're facing life in prison, the only thing that you can think of is how to get out of that type of situation. I watch enough lawyer shows to blow my mind. I probably could really win a case, you know, and it's not because I watched it for entertainment. You watch how criminals actually win because they know the law. And that's what this game has always been about. Do you know the law? We always said that the three most important things on this planet were the Bible, mathematics, and law. When you think about it from that perspective, how do you take on the energy of the Bible? Oh, baby. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that today. My bad. Yeah, I wasn't even ready for that today. Everywhere I go, I bring a fertility energy. I've been witnessing many animals create families before my eyes. I bring other animals in heat, and it's like mating season. I've witnessed ducks in Florida. I've witnessed now doves, and I felt like doves always protected me. You know, just appreciating nature for it, the peace that it gave, as opposed to living in the world and knowing that I was being manipulated and drugged by my family my whole life. You know, and sometimes kids with gifts, I understand that it could be a little frightening because you want to do everything in your power to make sure that they have a quote-unquote normal life. And realistically speaking, I don't think that should be up to the person who doesn't have the capacity with the gifts. Like, you don't have the gifts. It's not your gift to decide and control. It's mine. And I don't care what age I am, Matilda. I'm going to expose the true me every single time. Y'all have to stop allowing people to put y'all in smaller boxes. Use your discernment. How big is your box? Too big for you to even hold with 2 fucking hands. You need a couple thousand trucks, minimum. And I'm not sure your money that long to pay for the transportation. Because we charging by the truckload, my guy. So if my box is that quadrupleless, I just made that shit up. If my box is that OD, infinite, and I'm believing that you don't fill that box, you can't even carry the box, why would I even go that way? Your energy has to speak for itself. If your energy is still off during a time when the sun is getting more powerful and it's going to be too hot to talk, when that 0 degree mark comes, when we start seeing creatures come out of nowhere, oh baby, you better know the word. You better have nature on your side to defend and protect you when you need it. I hope you know some root work. I hope you know herbs. I could learn more, but can you really live in a grid, in a compound, and never move for at least 7 years? Are you capable? Are you ready? Are you prepared for that? Because it's going to be so fucking hot on this planet. It's really going to be zombies at night and night crawlers. You have to be protected. You have to know what's happening. There's so many levels to life. I'm nervous for the information that's about to come out about the tunnels. Jordan Peele first insinuated it. Then we got the Playboy Mansion tunnels, allegedly connected to Diddy Mansion tunnels. We have Cassie talking about tunnels. It's a lot is going to be exposed, and a lot of Americans are going to be very, 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 very angry that this has all been a puppet show. Very angry. And from a young age, I, was in performing arts and went to performing arts school and acted in that capacity until high school. Thinking about how I wanted to be on a dance team in my new high school, which was to me like an international school, but told that I wasn't qualified even though I had to audition to get in my performing arts school. But I just signed up to come here because this is my local school. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, sometimes your race does have something to do with your unfortunate life evolving to a certain way. When I watch these shows, you see parents donating money to their children's school so that they can receive like a pass or something that they did just so they can have good grades. It's shit like that really happens. And because I wasn't in that kind of position, my life was a little bit more difficult because I thought we were still poor, even though our circumstances had changed. We still lived like it. And, I thought going on vacation was normal because my mom had me on a plane all the time. And I don't know what that means or how often maybe, but I remember being on a plane at 2, flight TWA. There was around like a crash. And I remember waiting in the conference room at probably Westchester Square. We were getting ready to go to JFK, and there was like a crash like a couple of weeks before, and then we were flying TWA to like Puerto Rico or some shit. And I'm like, bruh, she's gotta be wildin', right? Like, during that time, I feel like it was 1993, they used to allow people to smoke cigarettes on the plane. And we were flying like 30,000, almost 40,000 feet high up. I promise you these planes is lower than low, and they not even beyond 15,000 feet. It don't look like there's no way possible. Impossible. It's too hot up there. It's so hot. It's so hot. And people aren't recognizing that it's about to get hotter out here. And if you're willing to make money, how long can you last? And it really should have always been about energy in your soul.